finances. And bookkeeping is something that we didn't do well in our first business. It's something that we did extremely well at FreeUp and helped us become acquired and pass due diligence, and just having immaculate books from day one and making really good decisions each month based on real numbers. And that's what we've set out to do with Ecom Balance, bringing a unique perspective, because we're entrepreneurs first. We're not bookkeepers first. We're good at hiring. We're good at processes. And we think that we can bring a unique perspective there with a monthly bookkeeping service.
Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from four-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast. Beautiful people, welcome to another episode of the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk with Alex Ramirez, myself. And today, as always, I have another special guest, and he's going to be dropping a lot of bombs. He's going to be helping any entrepreneurs out there who are trying to grow their company but don't know how. I'm very excited to get to talk to this gentleman, get to learn from him, and just get to introduce him to you. Before I do that, though, I want to give a big shout out to all of you who have been leaving comments, likes, reviews on all the major podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and to those who have been watching on YouTube as well. Thank you very much. And I want to ask you for something. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, some piece of information, the inspiration to go and take action, I want to ask you to share this interview with one friend, since this is how we grow, this is how we share our message, and this is how we're able to motivate, inspire, and bless other entrepreneurs to change their lives. So today I have Nathan Hirsch. Is that right, man?
Yeah,
Nathan Hirsch, he's a long life entrepreneur and currently the CEO of Ecom Balance and Outsource School. Nathan is best known for co-founding FreeUp.net, which I'm excited to talk about, in 2015 with an initial investment of $5,000, scaling it up to $12 million in yearly revenue, and having it acquire. So you sold it, I'm guessing, in 2019. Yep. Today he leads Ecom Balance and is an online bookkeeping service for e-commerce and digital businesses, an Outsource School, a membership teaching business owners how to hire effectively online, right, with virtual assistants and all of that. I'm excited to talk to that, to get to talk about that with you, man, so that you can help, other entrepreneurs out there really grow their business. And Nathan has appeared on over 400 podcasts, for over 401 now, I think, or more. And he's a social media personality, lives in Denver, Colorado, has a wife, 2 dogs. And thank you for being here, Nathan, man. I really appreciate you making time for this, and you are welcome.
Thanks so much for having me. Man, I heard your story right before this podcast. And I'm like, man, how do I top that? Because it's truly incredible. But hopefully I can drop some knowledge on this show. If you guys are listening, definitely share it with a friend. I have a feeling this podcast is going big places. So I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you, man. And the first thing that I do with my guests is that I tell them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
Yeah, you got it. So I was a broke college kid that came from a middle-class family. The unique thing about me was my parents were teachers, but I got to go to school at the school that my parents taught at, which was a very affluent school where everyone's parents were doctors, lawyers, dentists. So growing up, I always had less than all my friends, and that really motivated me to want the best for myself. So I was broke. I had a bunch of internships, a bunch of jobs my parents had me get throughout the years. I started working at a young age, 15, 16 years old. So when I got to college, I started hustling. I started buying and selling textbooks, eventually stumbled on Amazon.com, figured out drop shipping years before I even knew it was called drop shipping. And it was the wild, wild west of Amazon. Scaled that business, eventually finding my business partner in my business law class, and realized we had the same values and wanted the same things. For that business, it was really tough to hire. So instead of hiring college kids who weren't reliable, we learned all about virtual assistants and freelancers. And while we scaled this business using VAs and freelancers, we started reaching out to other Amazon sellers to see if they wanted to use the VAs that weren't necessarily working full time for us. And that really launched itself into its own business called FreeUp, that we eventually turned into a marketplace and a platform and started recruiting, and quickly surpassed our Amazon sales and became our full-time focus. And FreeUp was quite an adventure. We grew that over 4 years before being acquired by one of our clients right before the pandemic, which was kind of wild. And we can kind of dig more into that. But then once we were acquired, the pandemic hit. Instead of traveling and taking a year off, we were kind of stuck at home. So we launched Outsource School to teach other people our hiring process. And that kind of bought us time to figure out what we really want to do next, which was to grow a business in a new industry that we were excited about, which is finances. And bookkeeping is something that we didn't do well in our first business. It's something that we did extremely well at FreeUp and helped us become acquired and pass due diligence, and just having immaculate books from day one, and making really good decisions each month based on real numbers. And that's what we've set out to do with Ecom Balance, bringing a unique perspective, because we're entrepreneurs first. We're not bookkeepers first. We're good at hiring. We're good at processes. And we think that we can bring a unique perspective there with a monthly bookkeeping service. So that's my 70 seconds. Hopefully I didn't go over.
Nice, man. That's an amazing journey, man. How old are you?
I am 32, about to be 33.
Holy crap, man. So you've scaled 1 to like 3 businesses, like 3 businesses. I don't know, maybe 4.
4 businesses. Yep.
Sold 1. Oh, that's amazing, man. Yeah, like just congrats on your journey, man. Congrats on so much success.
Thank you.
So with Ecom Balance, do you like is like part of your message, you know, once you get people in or whatever, is part of your message helping them be like exit?
So we can help people exit. We've got plenty of clients who want to exit. It's not the goal for every single person. If people want to exit, I have great relationships with different brokers and people in that space. But our main goal is to help you understand your numbers better. A lot of entrepreneurs, they wait till the end of the year, they dump all their books on their accountant figures it out and pays their taxes. And that doesn't really help them see what's going on in their business. The way that it should work is the month ends within 10, 15 days of the month being over. You get a report that you can go through with your business partner, with your leadership team, and make real decisions on your business based on what the numbers are saying. And I think we know how to do that being entrepreneurs ourselves. And it's the same thing that we do every single month with all of our companies.
Nice, man. So it sounds like all of your success has come from just solving problems, problems that you had, that you found out then later that, oh, actually all of these entrepreneurs are also having them, and then you're just solving those problems for them, and that's how you've had a lot of your success. And it takes a lot to be able to sell a company, especially when it comes with you know the numbers and bookkeeping and stuff. That's actually one of the main things that holds entrepreneurs back, right? If they're trying to sell a company, they don't have like their like financials and like their books and their numbers. So it's something very important, which for this year, one of my yearly goals is elite finances, right? That's not a SMART goal because it's not specific, measurable, or anything like that. But do you hear that?
Yeah, not sure what that is.
Oh, wait, I think. And I lost my train of thought, man. But yeah, so, okay. Yeah. So one of my goals is elite finances, which is really not specific, not measurable, right? Or anything like that. But like, I have this picture of what elite finances means, right? And I got clear on where I am right now, which I'm really bad at, tracking my finances and keeping books and all of that. And where do I want to be? Have elite finances, right? So which means, like being in control of every single penny that comes in, comes out, not only being in control, but being clear about that. So one of the things that I'm doing every single day, man, is I ask myself, who must I become to get there, right? And I got to become someone who has the habit of going through their finances every single day, every single week, and every single month. And that's what I'm doing right now, man. And finances, like you said, you weren't good at that, right? Like at bookkeeping and all that in your first business. You've had to get good at that, in order to like sell your business and now you're good at it, but you didn't start being good at that. I think that's one of the things that entrepreneurs are really not good at, right? So maybe let's talk a little bit more about that, man.
Yeah, I mean, people tell me that I like to focus on the things that two people hate, and that's hiring and books or finances.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's not just important if you go to sell your business. It's important to know what's going on in your business every single month. You need to be able to see, are your expenses going up faster than your revenue? You got to be able to see if you have four different products, maybe one of them is making all the money, or maybe your payroll is, maybe you could spend more on payroll. Maybe you could hire more people. You need to know what's going on with your business, and really monthly is that perfect time frame, because you might have some good weeks, some bad weeks, but if you're looking at your books every single month, that's how you're able to make good decisions. And same thing with your finances. I mean, if you think of what you're looking for in a business, your profit and loss statement or income statement, your balance sheet, or your cash flow, it's very similar to what you're doing in your personal finances too. You should be running a balance sheet. What are your assets? What are your liabilities, your debts, and what's your net worth? You should be knowing what your net income is. A lot of that could be your business, but you could also have real estate holdings or a job or a part-time job, whatever it is. And then cash flow is as well, because if you've got debt and certain debt is due before you receive the money, that can be a big deal too. So running your business and your personal in a very similar way is very important. But the difference is, as an entrepreneur, you should be doing your own personal finances. You should not be doing your business books. There's really no situation that you should, for two reasons. One, any time that you spend doing your bookkeeping is time that you could be spending growing your business. It's not what you should be focused on. You should be focused on sales, marketing, expansion, hiring, processes. And the second thing is, most entrepreneurs are not good at bookkeeping. Any books that you do are most likely 9 out of 10 times going to have to get redone later by a real high level bookkeeper if you want them done right. And I've seen that so many times. You don't save time, you don't save money doing it yourself. It's just going to have to get redone later. So whether you hire my service or a different bookkeeper out there, bookkeeping has to be one of the first things you take off your plate as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Instead of spending 2 hours trying to find out how this bookkeeping software works, spend 2 hours making more money, so that then you can hire someone who already knows how to take care of that software that takes care of your bookkeeping.
Absolutely.
Cool. Awesome. But all right, so then established as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you shouldn't be taking care of your business's books, right? But you should be taking care of your finances, of your personal finances. So how do you do that, man? Do you have any advice on how to do that better?
Yeah. So, I mean, the way that I do it, and my wife and I do it together, but we have a Google document that's shared with each other. Every bank account, every CD, every investment account, we own a condo that we rent out. Everything is listed there. And I usually do it every other month, but you can do it more frequent or less frequent. We go through and you update the balance of every account. We have our mortgage in there and debt in there and all that. And at the end, you can see total net worth. And that's like the bare minimum you should be doing. If you invest in stocks, there's a lot you should be doing in terms of checking on those companies and making sure you know what's going on and seeing if the story in those companies have changed, which I don't think we have enough time to talk about today, but and you don't want to just let it go, and you don't want to just invest in stuff that you don't understand how that business works. And then I also mentioned income statement. If you have different income streams, you should be able to know how much are you actually taking in per month after taxes, after money's getting put in your 401k, whatever it is, and what your monthly expenses are too. So we keep track of how much we spend on food every month, how much we spend on clothes or travel or whatever it is, making sure ideally that it's positive every month, and you continue to build savings and retirement account and stuff like that. So that's the short summary of what you should be doing on a personal level.
That sounds like a lot, man. Do you have any resources? I don't know that someone can tap into to get started on everything that you said?
I don't have any resources, but I would keep it simple with two things. Just a list of your net worth, which is just all your assets minus all your debt. And you have a total number at the bottom where every month, my net worth is X amount. And then simply, what is your income every month? What are your revenue streams? Most people have 1 to 5, a job, a business, 2 businesses, whatever it is, minus whatever your costs are per month. You can average it out. You can take ballparks, but you should roughly know, hey, I take home a net of $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month or whatever it is. And if you know what your net worth is each month and you know what you take in every month, you're way ahead of the curve of what everyone else is doing.
100%, man. I don't know how 90% of the world, I think, doesn't know that. So extremely valuable to know that, right? Cool, man. So thanks for that, man. Thanks for coming in here and telling us about the importance of bookkeeping, the importance of finances and stuff, which is one of the things that allowed you to to sell Free Up in less than 4 years for, I don't know, how much did you sell it for, if you don't mind sharing that?
I can't share that. Sorry. I signed
Okay.
a strict NDA, but we're very happy with it. We also love the new owners. They've done a great job so far. It allowed my business partner and I to have just life freedom, which we enjoy, and hopefully are able to give back. So we're happy with it.
So Free Up, Free Up was like a platform that provided staff for people. Is that what Free Up did?
Yeah, virtual assistants freelancers. So we would get tons of applicants that want to offer their services on our platform. We would vet them, take the top 1%, and then those would be available to clients on the platform. So it's free to sign up for clients. Anytime they hire someone, all that billing is through the platform, but you go in and you can still use Free Up. We still use Free Up. You say, hey, I need a graphic designer. I need a lister. I need a bookkeeper, whatever it is. You put in a request, they'll match you up with someone that's already vetted, and then they're responsible if anything goes wrong as well.
Got it. So like anyone out there who needs a designer, a funnel builder, some type of virtual assistant or something,
absolutely,
they can go to Free Up and then they'll
Yep.
get it there. Awesome. So then what did you do for outsource school now? So that outsource school was something that was inspired from Free Up. So what is it that you do with that?
Yeah, and we got the old owners or the new owners permission before we started it. We don't provide virtual assistants at outsource school, but we do provide our hiring process. So Connor and I have been hiring for 10 plus years. We have our interview questions. We have how we onboard people. We have how we manage them and run meetings and give bonuses and give raises. We even have how we fire people or how we promote them. All that stuff is part of outsource school. So if you want a really solid framework on how to hire really great people that you know are going to be great and how to manage them and keep them around, because turnover absolutely kills businesses, that's what outsource school is. And we've turned it into cheat sheets and videos that are easy to go through that you can quickly apply to your business and see a difference very, very quickly.
Cool, man. So do you have any, because I'm hiring right now, I have 10 team members on my team currently. I started hiring a couple of months ago, and I went from being a solopreneur to actually having a team and not doing everything myself. And I've been hiring, and it's it's not the most, well, actually I enjoy it. Well, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, do you have any advice for me and for the audience, man?
Yeah. So don't just focus on skill. There's a lot of really talented people out there that I would never hire. We focus on attitude. We focus on communication. Those are key pieces. And on top of that, we look for red flags. A lot of people go into interviews looking to see, hey, how's this person good in every single way? We look for every red flag that we can think of. What's this person saying that shows they have the wrong attitude, that they're not going to stick around, that they can't work the schedule we want, that they don't really have the skills we need. I can go on, and we teach that in outsource school, but that's kind of your focus and what we call our interview process, the CARE interview process: communication, attitudes, red flags, and experience, which is that skill. And you really want to hire someone that has all four pieces, not one, not two, not three, but all four of them.
Cool. That's amazing, man. And when I heard one of your interviews, you've been on over 400 podcasts, and I've heard one of them. I listened to one of them, and you dropped a bomb there. It stuck with me. It just stuck with me for the rest of my life. Well, until now. And that was that when you were trying to hire a VA, there was a couple of questions that you asked, which was about issues, right? Like personal issues, internet issues, energy issues, and then weather issues, right? And I added that to my, my process of hiring. So that was extremely valuable, man. So now skill, attitude, and communication. So I'm just curious, all of these skills that you've acquired, right, to hire people and to the entire process of hiring and recruiting people to work, all of these skills, did you acquire it through trial and error, or how did you acquire that? Hey, sorry for the interruption. Real quick, do you want to know how I've been using my podcast to build a multi-million-dollar network with over 100 7, 8, and 9-figure entrepreneurs? Reach hundreds of my ideal clients with my message coaching service and podcast. Get invited to speak on 4 stages in the last 2 months alone, throw my own events, and have over 100 successful entrepreneurs being willing to speak at my events, become a millionaire in 1 year, get mentored by multimillionaires, and achieve goals that I thought were going to take me 10 years to achieve in 1 year, and ultimately get unstuck and make quantum leaps of progress in my business and life with less than 1 hour of work just by being myself. If you answered yes to any of those, I just want to invite you to a free training showing you how I've been able to build a multi-million-dollar network that is helping me achieve bigger income goals faster with only 1 hour of speaking and just being myself. To be honest, I thought I was going to be a multi-millionaire, speak on stages, throw my own events, and live a successful, happy, and fulfilled life of growth and impact in 10 years from now. That seemed so far away, but my podcast has been able to help me do that in less than 6 months. I'm actually doing all of that this year at the age of 21 with my podcast. I'm reaching thousands of people with my message, my service, my podcast, my coaching. I've gotten booked to speak on 4 stages in the last 2 months. And on these stages, I'm going to be getting in front of hundreds of my ideal clients, making roughly around 15 to 30K plus per event. Not only that, I have a network of over 100 high-level, multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs who have all agreed to speak at my events. Getting clients is a problem of the past. I've gotten the opportunities to learn from billionaires, and I'm collapsing decades of time, and I'm literally achieving what I thought was going to take me 10 years to achieve in 1 year. All of this because I use podcasting as a networking tool, and I leveraged a rare concept called the cloak track. And I want the exact same thing for you. Just imagine where you could be in 1 year from now if you get this free training right now. That is why I'm inviting you to this training. On this short training, you're going to learn how a small group of purpose-driven entrepreneurs, authors, coaches, course creators, and speakers have combined podcasting with this rare concept called the cloak track to build a multi-million-dollar network, reach thousands of their ideal clients with their message, books, courses, coaching, make an extra $118,800, get booked on 10 stages, and build a successful network of entrepreneurs who speak on their stage, all of this in under 6 months. I'm going to walk you through the 4 steps to make this work. Step number 1, alignment. Getting clear on who you want to be, what you want to do, your goals, your purpose, and aligning all of this with building your podcast and your ideal podcast guest. Step number 2, leveraging the cloak track to find your ideal podcast guest and never running out of them. Step number 3, leveraging the cloak track to close an interview with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And step number 4, the content machine. The content machine is the key to tapping into other people's audiences. And I'm going to show you all of those 4 steps. The link to access this free training is in the description of this video. Click on it and go watch this training right now so that you can learn how you can too build a multi-million-dollar network that helps you achieve bigger goals faster and with less effort. Note, this training is only available to 18 people, so act right now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye.
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. I probably learned too much through trial and error. I mean, you also have to remember, I start like right now, there's a coach for everything, right? There's people advertising coaching services. I got in 2008, 2009, like social media wasn't as big as it is now. There weren't Facebook groups of entrepreneurs. There weren't people advertising themselves as coaches. I was 20, like there was no one to talk to or go to. And I had this Amazon business that was growing, and I had to figure it out. I couldn't work 7 days a week, 10 hours a day. I had to hire people, and hired a bunch of people, fired a bunch of people. Every person that we hired, we said, hey, how do we find more people like that? And we tweaked our interview process to find more people like the good ones. And every person we fired, we said, hey, how do we improve our interview so we never hire a person with that issue again? And through the years, that's how we developed our interviewing, onboarding, training, and managing process that we now not only teach at Outsource School, but we use for all of our businesses. If we used them to hire the whole Free Up team that's still with Free Up today, we use them to hire our internal Outsource School team, and we use them to hire our Econ Balance team that we're continuing to hire for right now. So all that stuff, we know it works because we've been doing it. We've done trial and error. If you get lazy in the process, you kind of realize how good the process is. And we're not perfect. There's times where we need to make that really great hire throughout the years, not so much recently, but in the past, where you skip a step and you got to get someone to hire faster, and it always blows up in your face. So you got to follow that interview, onboarding, training, and managing process to get the great hires.
extremely valuable, man. And instead of 10 years, you've been doing this, right? Instead of taking 10, 5, 2, 5, 7, 10 years for you to be able to figure out how to interview, onboard, train, and manage people, you can easily just go to outsource school and get all that wisdom, download all that wisdom. And I don't know how long does it take for someone to go through outsource school?
A few hours, but the beauty of it is you can watch how to interview someone. That might take you 30 minutes and go interview someone. And then when you're ready to onboard them, watch how to onboard them and go onboard them. And it's all cheat sheet, step by step. You can copy, you can paste. It's super easy.
That's amazing, man. It's extremely valuable. So when can someone go and get access to that?
Yeah, just go to outsourceschool.com. You can even book a call with our team if you want to chat about it more. You can grab a free trial on the site. We got a few different lead magnets and stuff like that. But yeah, go to Outsource School.
Amazing, man. Thanks. So, okay. So see how we're going backwards, right? That's cool, right? It's a little bit different than most. So then Free Up. Can you dive into the story of like Free Up? How were you able to? Because it's very rare. Like the amount of businesses that are able to grow to be like even be profitable, and it's very rare, right? And then the amount of businesses that are able to grow past that to the point in which they're generating $12 million in revenue, and then get sold is like extremely rare, right? So can you talk about that journey and how old were you when you did that?
I was 25, 26 when I started Free Up, and we sold it when I was just turning 30. Yeah. So, I mean, Free Up was some of the most fun times I ever had in my life. I mean, you got to remember, I came from the Amazon side, and with Amazon, they get all the clients, right? They market, you post your product up there. Now there's PPC and different things you can do. Back when I was selling on Amazon, that it really wasn't that, none of that existed. You post your product and people would find it. With Free Up, we had to grow our own brand from scratch. We had a website and we needed people to go to that website. And not only that, but it was a marketplace. So we needed freelancers and we needed clients. And it was a chicken, the egg situation of how do you get both? How do you keep it balanced? You can't have too many freelancers. You can't have too many clients. So for us, we kind of had a head start where we had freelancers from our Amazon business that we weren't using full time. So we gave them to our clients, our initial clients that were super appreciative that we are super appreciative that they gave us a shot when we were small, just like we're very appreciative of our ecom balance clients that gave us a shot when we were just starting out. But once we ran out of those freelancers, by that point, we had some revenue coming in, we had a client base, we had some referrals, and we started recruiting hard for freelancers. And one of the best decisions we made was creating an affiliate program where any client you referred, you got 50 cents for every hour we billed to that client forever. And we set up a very similar program on the freelancer side. So we had 20 to 50 clients, 20 to 50 freelancers. And all of a sudden, these people started telling other freelancers about our platform, other clients about our platform. And that's how Free Up really got off the ground. My business partner studied SEO, studied building websites. He took that over. I studied partnerships and podcasts, and I went on a drive to go on as many podcasts, as many good podcasts as possible to get our name out. And through the affiliate program, through partnerships, and through podcasts, that's how we were able to grow both sides of the platform, along with adding a developer, Russell, who we knew from our Amazon days, to build the actual software that held all the marketplace together, did the billing, matched up freelancers, had a project board, all of that kind of stuff that we add features to over time. So it was a combination of us kind of mastering some new skills, creating that affiliate program, and hiring a good developer that really allowed us to take off.
That sounds really fun. Like you said, I'm having fun right now, man, building everything that I'm building, and then just knowing where I'm going and then going through the process. Because I like the result that I'm going after, I just know it's going to happen. And what I'm focused on, which should be what everyone is focused on, is like the progress, right? Like the process, like going through the process and just loving the process and embracing the process. And I'm embracing it. I've learned to embrace it, and I'm loving it, man. I'm having a lot of fun. So just like you, right? And, you know, for anyone like listening to this, they're like, yeah, Nathan, but like you have a business and you've ran many successful businesses and you can do it, but I can't do it. Like, I'm not you, right? Like now, like we talked about why you're successful, right? You outsource ecom balance, Free Up, which you sold. But man, what makes you like, is there anything special about you? Like, why right? Like, why were you able to do this?
Yeah, so I like to look for low risk, high reward opportunities. And I like to try as many of them as possible. I mean, when I was in college, I tried selling every single product. I tried getting books at libraries in the dump. I tried textbooks, which had a good profit margin, but they were heavy and they were a pain. When I found Amazon, I tried everything from DVDs to video games to computers to baby products to toys, until finally figuring out that baby products were like that perfect combination of being able to ship them easily and having a good margin and being in high demand. So, and same thing with FreeUp. I mean, we started FreeUp with $5,000. We didn't just take $100,000 and dump it into the company and hope it worked out. We had a proof of concept where we got 5 initial clients. We made sure they were super happy. We got 5 more. We made sure they were very, very happy. Then we went to the freelancers and we got their feedback and said, hey, how can we make this marketplace better for you? So nothing we've done has been anything I would consider huge risk. I mean, the worst thing that would have happened was we lost $5,000 or my Amazon account got shut down, or I lost obviously it would suck to lose $5,000, but at the end of the day, you're not going to go homeless. Your life isn't going to be over. So I would look for low risk, high opportunities. What can you do that has a high potential, not for success, but if it is successful, has a chance to really grow and be something that impacts your life. And if it doesn't work, doesn't destroy your family, doesn't destroy your livelihood and all of that. So that's kind of my tip there. It all looks easy when you're like, oh, you grew this company to 12 million, but really we just started with $5,000, a few clients, a few freelancers, and just kept adding a little bit more to each side. Going on podcasts, very low risk. I go on this podcast. What's the worst case scenario? I say something stupid. No one listens to it. You shut down the podcast in a month or something. Like, those are the real risks. At the end of the day, not going to kill me. The potential, maybe someone listening out there is a great client for Outsource School or Ecom Balance. So look, and it doesn't have to be the podcast or the Amazon or the FreeUp. Find your own low risk, high reward situations. And if you're just starting off, just do as many of those as possible until you find something that breaks through.
Man, yeah, that's great. That's great advice, because like for my podcast, I started it a few months ago. Like, it wasn't that long ago. And I started with a very clear vision, right, of what it will turn into. And right now I've interviewed, I almost say 80 interviews right now. Actually, I had like 4 yesterday, and then I had like 3 yesterday, the day before that. And then I had like 3 more today. And I just like built this amazing system, which is like this is very low risk. Like, I literally don't lose anything by getting on podcast and talking to people like you. Right. And actually, it's turned out to be very high reward, low risk, high reward. One of the main benefits, apart from achieving goals that I thought I was going to be doing 10 years from now, and like this year, apart from that, right? Like, one of the biggest benefits has been my like a change in my identity and change how I think. Because every time I get on a podcast with men like you, I'm able to like hold the mirror in front of me, and I'm able to see all of the things that I have, right? And all of the things that I'm yet to that I have yet to develop. So it's been extremely, helpful for me. And like you said, low risk, high reward. The reward is that I've been able to like make money. I've been able to like make connections that has been able to like get me wisdom and knowledge, and has been able to like allow me to collapse time. So low risk, high reward, and those kind of opportunities are out there, and they're abundant, especially right now in the world that we live in. So yeah, amazing. And so you come from, you come from like a middle-class family. Your parents were teachers. So like you really didn't live in an entrepreneurial household, right? So where do you think you got like that drive? You said like you sold all kinds of stuff, textbooks, and you sold like all kinds of stuff. So where did you get that? Like, how come you didn't go down the path of wanting to be a teacher as well, or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, my parents always told me work hard, play hard. And that's kind of been my mentality my whole life. One of the main reasons I became an entrepreneur is because my parents forced me to get real jobs when I was 15, 16. I worked at a meat store. I worked at a rent-a-center type place called Aaron's, Firestone Complete Auto Care. I was a sales rep intern there. I was a head umpire for my town. So I was working a lot of hours under a lot of different bosses, and some good bosses, some bad bosses. But I learned pretty quickly that I did not like working for other people. I kind of got a glimpse for what the real world was like after I graduated college, and I wanted no part of it. So I kind of looked at college and at the end of high school as a ticking clock. I had 4 or 5 years to figure out how to start my own business, or I was going to go into the real world. I was going to have bills and have to get a job. And my parents made it very clear that I could not move back in with them when I graduated from college. So that made me very, very, very motivated to do my own thing and have a business that could actually support me. And I was fortunate enough to find Amazon during college. But I mean, there was a lot of doubt too. Like I had job offers when I left college. I had this Amazon business I was doing too. And I was 50-50 at that point. Do I stick with the entrepreneur path? Amazon could shut me down at any time. Or do I go out and get that job with benefits and health insurance and more stability? And it was tough. And I remember talking to my aunt, who's an entrepreneur herself. And she told me like, hey, you can always go out and get a real job. Like that's not going anywhere. Like when you're young and you don't have a family or you're just young and going out of college, that's your time to take risks. And if it doesn't work out, you go find a job. If it does work out, you're going to be so happy that you decided to be an entrepreneur. And you can also just not like being an entrepreneur. It's not for everyone. Like it takes a lot of sacrifices as well. But that's kind of where I stood for. And I mean, the other thing I'll add is even though we were middle class and all my friends and everything had so much more than me. And this is something I've realized maybe in the past 10 years. And I definitely didn't realize this when I was younger. Like I'm so fortunate to just have two loving parents that gave me great life lessons about finances and working hard and all the stuff that goes with it, having a roof over my head, having food on the table. Right now, my wife and I are foster parents. And I mean, we try to give back to kids that didn't have that. And a lot of stuff that people take for granted. I know I heard your story right before that too. Like not everyone has a great family situation. And there's always people that have it better than you. There's always people that have it way worse than you. But a lot of the things that you kind of see looking at other people makes you take for granted the stuff that you have yourself growing up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you were definitely fortunate, right? About like growing up with your parents and stuff, which is something that I'm going to give my daughter, which I think is very important, right? Like giving, because like whenever my daughter is having a bad time, right, or mom is making her have a bad time, she comes to me. Or whenever she's having a bad time with me, she goes to her. And like most of the time, she's loved, right? And when you grow in a broken household, love is like the last thing you even think about, because like you feel like you don't have it, even though your parents love you, but you don't know that that's not your experience, right? So yeah, man, so congrats. Yeah, amazing, right? And like just hearing you like be grateful is amazing. And it sounds to me like you went down, I explained the freedoms and the order in which you have to achieve them. It sounds like you went through those freedoms to physical freedom, emotional freedom, financial freedom, and sentimental freedom in the right order. Is that the case for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think so. Who knows if the order is exactly, I mean, I agree with your order and I think that's the ideal order, but everyone kind of has their own path. And it's also not like this. It's not like, oh, I figured out emotion and now I just figured it out the rest of my life. There's ups and downs, there's cycles that people go through in all elements, whether it's finance or emotions or whatever. So, and I'm not perfect. Anyone that says they're perfect is lying. And like I said, I took my parents for granted growing up. I'm lucky enough that they're very active and they're retired now and they moved to Colorado and live very close to us now. And I get to kind of show that appreciation. And now when I'm dealing with foster kids that aren't on their best behavior at all times, I kind of think back to when maybe I wasn't on my best behavior at all times growing up and didn't appreciate my parents. So it all kind of comes full circle.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad, man. Like your journey sounds like it's been amazing. So what are you planning on doing right now? So you have the econ balance going on, also school right now. Like what are your plans for the next couple of years?
Yeah, right now my focus is mainly on econ balance. We're trying to grow our clients to 1,000. Anyone listening gets 2 free months of bookkeeping if they go to econ balance, mention this podcast. But that's my focus now. I mean, we spent the last 4 to 5 months building what I consider the best team of bookkeepers out there. We've built processes. We have our new portal software launching, our new portal for clients and affiliates. And now it's all about scaling, getting the word out about econ balance, getting clients, proving the process to more and more people. And that's 100% of my focus right now. And that's what I enjoy doing. That's what's fun for me.
Cool. All right. And so what is it that you offer? 2 months of free bookkeeping?
Yeah. So our core service is a monthly bookkeeping service where we charge you the first of the month and you get your books by the 10th to the 15th of the month. We also do cleanup and catch up work if you're behind on your books. And we have, if we do your monthly books, we have additional services we can do if you want us to, like accounts receivable, accounts payable, payroll, sales tax, stuff like that. But our core service is monthly bookkeeping. And if you go to econbalance.com and mention this podcast, you get 2 months free.
Nice. 2 months free. And you also have like a free trial for Outsource School as well.
Yeah, you can go to Outsource School. You can grab a free trial. If you book a call with our salespeople and mention this podcast, they will hook you up with a great deal as well.
That's amazing. So, man, a lot of people like are afraid of giving stuff for free. How come you are not? Or how come like you're giving your stuff for free?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's two reasons. One is we're very confident in our process and our service that once people use it, they'll fall in love with it and stick around. We're less interested in all my businesses. We're less interested in making, I should say, we're not interested in making a quick buck off someone. We're interested in long-term relationships where it's a win for the client, a win for us, a win for our team, and everyone wins all around. So that's what we're looking for. Econ Balance is also newer. I mean, Outsource School has been around for 2 years. Econ Balance is 6 months older or less by the time this gets out there. So we're looking for clients that are willing to give us a shot and trust us. And in return, we want to give them something. And again, build that long-term relationship, build that trust.
Nice. Yeah, that's amazing. That's great. So, man, we're almost out of time. We have a couple of minutes, and I always finish my interview with 5 questions. And the first question is, if you could give your 20-year-old self some advice, what would you say? So like not redo your life or redo anything, right? Or no, just like give your 20-year-old self some advice, maybe to make the journey a little bit less stressful or whatever. What would you say to him?
Learn how to hire first. I mean, hiring just makes everything easier when it comes to business. So I was 20, I was starting my first company, tried to do everything myself, got super stressed out. It was bad for my health. It was bad for my grades. I was in college. It was bad for my relationships. You have to hire good people. There's very few solo entrepreneurs out there doing 7 figures. It doesn't exist. You have to hire good people. And more from a personal side, just being appreciative and grateful. I mean, I definitely fell into the habit of being around friends and people around me that I had way more than me, or at least I thought they had way more than me. And you just don't appreciate what you have sometimes. And that's something you kind of learn as you're older.
Yeah. Hiring great people, and then gratitude, appreciating what you have. That's amazing advice, especially the gratitude one. I think gratitude is a superpower that most people don't take advantage of, right? Like if you're having a bad time, if you're having fear, if you're having doubt, the easiest way out of that is gratitude, right? And what do you think most entrepreneurs stay solopreneurs, man?
Fear. I mean, hiring people, you have to learn how to hire. It's a skill that you have to learn that some people aren't willing to learn. And there's always that trust issue, which ends up being complete nonsense, because a lot of times you'll find people that can do things way better than you can. And trust is something you have to be able to trust someone. Even if you don't want to hire someone, you still have to trust your accountant to file your taxes. You still have to trust a lawyer. You have to trust other service providers. So you might as well trust your team as well.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome, man. So the next question is mindset. What is one mindset shift that you've had that you can share that you think has contributed to your success?
Abundance. I mean, my initial thoughts when I was running my Amazon business was I figured out Amazon. I figured out the secret hack of how to make money. I don't want to share it with anyone. It's mine. Anyone I share it with is a risk. I kept my employees on, like I had them sign confidentiality agreements. So they wouldn't share anything. And now I'm at the point where all the competitors with Econ Balance, I'm hopping on the phone with all of them and seeing how we can collaborate. There's plenty of clients to go around. A lot of them are my friends and we've worked together on FreeUp or whatever. And same thing with FreeUp. With partners, we would promote them, they would promote us, and it's a more of a feeling of abundance. So just being able to get to know other people in your space, build partnerships, even if they're your competitors, that's kind of a mind shift set that's really helped me. And you never know how you're going to work together with people. I mean, people who are competitors with me at FreeUp are now partners with me at Econ Balance. So things change very quickly.
Yeah. Great insight. And especially abundance is one of the reasons why you are able to like give your services out for free, And instead of being in scarcity or, oh, like they're just going to come and take 2 months of free services and then they're going to leave. Actually, that's what makes them fall in love with your product and your service, and then makes them stay for years. So great insights. Mindset map. So do you have any strategy, tactic, or tool, any piece of advice that would help someone gain clarity?
So what I like to do is figure out what is my most productive hours every day. For whatever reason, mine's from like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Like I probably get more done from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. than anyone out there, but it doesn't have to be early. Like maybe you're a night person, maybe you're an afternoon person, late morning person, but whatever those hours are that you're most productive, make sure you're maximizing those hours every day and doing the most important thing for you or for your business during those hours. And it kind of goes beyond there too. Like I learned that I like working out between like 11 and 1. So right after this podcast, I'm going to go into my basement gym and work out. And I don't like working out at 5 a.m. I don't like working out at night because I'm tired, but that's just me. So I've kind of figured out what time I'm most productive doing different activities, some work, some personal, and I try to maximize those every single day. Obviously stuff comes up. Life isn't always scheduled like that. And you have to make some adjustments, but I know what my ideal day looks like. And I try to do my ideal day as much as possible.
Amazing. So how do you find what time of the day you're the most productive on?
There's trial and error. There's trying different things and there's learning from others. Like I've taken some things from my business partner and some things that I'm like, man, you do that. I don't know how you do that. And I want to do it completely differently. I want to do it at a different time. So, I mean, I think reading advice from other people is great, but just because Nathan Hirsch says that doing stuff in the morning is great, doesn't mean that everyone listening should do that. So definitely listen, see how other people are doing it. There is a little bit of a roadmap there that you can follow, but you got to do some trial and error yourself as well.
Got it. And another question that comes from that same question. So how do you find the most important thing that you have to be doing in your business, or right? You find the most productive time of your day, and then you make sure that during that time of your day, you focus it on the most important thing that needs to be done for your business. How do you find that?
Yeah, meetings. I mean, that's it's very business specific. I mean, some people are naturally good at that. Some people need that coach or consultant. Some people need that mentor. But you should always have a list of things that need to get done for your business. And then you should be reprioritizing that list. So with Econ Balance, there's a pretty long to-do list. And I'm always like moving stuff around. Hey, I'm going to do this next and this next, or I think of something new and that moves to the top of the list. Make sure that you're always reprioritizing stuff. Prioritization is a skill that's very underrated. The ability to do the right things in the right order can make the biggest difference on your business.
Incredible. Awesome. Mindset map motion. What is a habit that you have, a habit that you think has contributed to your success?
I'm a workout freak. So I work out high intensity, 1 hour a day. It gets me away from my laptop, away from my phone. It lets me get away from my team, away from clients. It just lets me focus in my own zone. I listen to a podcast while I'm working out, and that's been healthy for me. I think health is very important. I know plenty of entrepreneurs that make a lot of money, but aren't healthy, and that hurts their family. It hurts their ability to work. For me, I prioritize health at a high level. And part of health is that workout piece for me.
100% agree, man. Mindset, map, motion, measure, money. Right? If you want money, if you want results physically, emotionally, spiritually, sentimentally, financially, if you want money, you got to get those four right. Mindset, map, motion, measure. So the last one is measure. So what do you think about measuring and tracking?
I'm actually probably the worst. This is not like, I don't track my workouts at all in terms of like how much I'm lifting or anything like that. That's just not that important to me. Same thing with like counting calories. I don't do any of that, but that's just me. Business wise, we track everything. We have metric, we have KPIs for everything. I mentioned the monthly reports we go over. I don't know. I tend to be a very self-motivated person. So I don't feel like I need a tracker to go to the gym and pick an intense workout like I'm about to do. But that's just me. I'm kind of weird like that. I have certain things that I do like routine, like I read a certain amount of pages in a book every single day. So I'm definitely a routine oriented person, but I don't have like records of every book I've read or every workout I've done or anything like that. That's just not how I do things.
But you do track everything in your business.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You have to. And part of figuring out a new business is figuring out what KPIs are important. The KPIs that were important for free up are not the same as for ecom balance. So you kind of have to figure out what makes sense and what actually moves the needle in each business.
Okay. All right, man. So, man, we've come to the end of this podcast episode. I've really enjoyed it. And if people out there, liked what Nathan is all about, and, they need help with bookkeeping, they need help with outsourcing, they want to learn how to hire, onboard, manage, train, everything that you do, people love what you do. Where should they go and find more of you?
Yeah, so you can find me, Nathan Hirsch, on any social media channel. You can go to Outsource School, you go to Ecom Balance, mention Modern Gentleman, we'll hook you up for both companies. And really appreciate you having me on, Alex. It was a lot of fun, and have a great rest of the day, and good luck to everyone out there.
You too, man. Thank you very much for being here. And man, a podcast has changed, this podcast has changed my life. And I'm going to add something, a special link just for the Nathan Hirsch episode, as well as along with all of your stuff, right? For outsource and ecom balance and your Instagram and all of that. On top of that, I'm going to add a special link. It's going to be called link something / Nathan Hirsch. And it's going to take any entrepreneur out there who wants to, on a training from A to C on how to start, grow, launch, monetize, and automate $1 million network building podcast, right? Which is something that I've been able to do. I'm going to throw a free training on that as well. And thank you, man. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. I enjoyed it. And I'll see you later.
See ya.
Awesome, brother. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching the Gentleman's Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms